Okay. How is everyone today? Very good. So, I sent out a poll. Thank you those who answered. I appreciate that. The majority of everyone wanted to do a little bit of both. So, this is going to be a slightly different format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak for about 45-ish minutes, which this is a very decently sized class. It's not going to be too hard. So, I'll spend about 45 minutes just answering questions that everyone has. I have notebook. Does anyone need or want notebook paper to take notes? So my idea, my concept, and I'll grab it for you. My concept behind this is that when I talk, you can be like, oh my gosh, that made me think of a question. So you can write that down and we can talk about it after, right? So anyone else want paper? Okay, you snooze, you lose. There you go. You're welcome. Okay, sorry, Linda. Of course. All right, I'm going to turn off these front lights really quick. Okay. Hi, Kathy. Good morning, Bill. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Kathy, I'll just repeat really quick, but we're going to do a half and half. I'm going to speak for about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to go and give like 5 to 10 minutes to every person here, and we'll go through stuff. Okay, really quick. So we write down after 45 minutes. That's my suggestion, right? If we think of questions, write them down, and then we'll answer them. Yeah, well, I'll go around, and then you guys can either decide to hang out and chit chat, but it's going to be more of a one-on-one, right? So, and then of course, if there's questions that pertain to everyone that I think would be knowledgeable enough, I will write up some stuff about that and send it out. So, not to exclude anyone. So, really quick house cleaning. All my business cards and I can give you the link exactly, but this is all my contact information is here. If you go to this website, which is on my business card, like my contact information is here. You can also just write me general questions. It'll send me an email. My goal is to get everyone to know this one thing so they can get everything related to me, if that makes sense. Another thing, what I've been doing is for those of you who want help, like one-on-one help at home or whatever, those of you who have had my services, sometimes it takes me a minute to respond, and that's because scheduling is really difficult. I'm really good with the technical side, not good with managing the other side. So if you go here, you can it'll let you go directly in and look at what my availability is. You don't even have to talk to me. Not that I don't mind talking to you, but you can go in and just, rather than waiting on me to have a moment to say, oh, here's all my dates, you can just go in and look at my calendar. And so anyway. It says, how do you see it? It's the website is linktr period EE as in echo / my first and last name with no spaces. And again, they're on my business cards as well as if you want. Okay. Any questions? I've just become very busy and I want to help all of you guys, and this helps me do it more efficiently. So cool. All right. Oh, I got to turn that on. And I'll stop talking about myself. Oh, I might have grabbed the wrong one, but that's okay. Okay. So, who wants to start off with questions? Ooh, now you have to speak in front of the whole class. What does Allen mode mean? Hey, Allen mode. Next to that, it says speaker, picture, artificial. Oh, that's AI. Oh, AI mode. I can show that in a minute, but Linda, what was your question? I have trouble scanning QR codes. Okay. Actually finding what it's supposed to be bringing up. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you. I'm going to try and pull up a picture because it's hard to explain. Scanning QR code on iPhone. So I typed in iPhone, but it can be anything. And I'm going to show you this picture. Okay, so that's about as big as I can make it, I think. Oh, there, I lied. Okay, hang on, I'm gonna do -1. Okay, so and this works on Androids too, but when you scan a QR code, you're gonna see these little yellow kind of angles that are recognizing that you're scanning a QR code. And QR codes, they're typically used to go to websites, but not always. Sometimes they're used to share contact information or whatnot. But when you open your camera app, just your camera app, like you're gonna go take a photo, as soon as you point the camera app at a QR code like this, it's gonna come up with this little yellow bubble at the bottom. And then that yellow bubble is what you tap on to do whatever the QR code wants you to do, whether it's take you to a website, add a contact, things like that. It used to be, back before it was really, really adopted by everyone, you used to have to download a separate app to scan those QR codes that could process them. These ones it just works now. Yep, even Android. I just did iPhone because I think they have the better documentation, but it looks very similar. Again, my business cards have a QR code on there if you want to practice. But yeah, great question, because I get that all the time because it can be confusing because you just see this thing pop up there, but you're like, what does that mean, right? So
then what happens? It takes you to the website.
Yep.
It took you to Apple. Okay. Did you see the yellow stuff?
Yep.
Dylan, hang on. She's up there. See the real yellow bars around there, and it'll come up. Well.
And that's probably way too far away, to be honest.
No, it came up earlier.
Did it?
And
here, try the.
There it is. It's there now.
So
here I am, yellow bar, and that's taking you to that website, and that's how that QR code works.
There you go.
Okay.
It's going to take a little bit of practice because you're going to want to, because you have to keep it pointed at the QR code, and you're going to want to look away and tap, and then you're going to. So, what other question? Oh, come on.
Oh, you mean any question?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's interested in, but I don't understand. You know, people are on the plane and they either got their iPad or a phone and they're watching movies. I don't know how to do any of that, or listening to music. I don't know how to do any of that.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know if that's an interest to anybody, but I don't know.
No, okay. So there's kind of two ways you can do that. So, so back in like the days of like actual cable TV, do you remember when like on demand started becoming like a huge thing? It's like instead of waiting for it to come on the television, you just go on demand. Well, what that transitioned to is they started taking on demand and they started making it into like, and I'm talking about Spectrum, AT&T, all your Comcast, all your local TV providers, and they started doing that over the internet. And so some people, what you can do is if you have Spectrum or AT&T or whatnot and you pay for internet TV from them, they have an app on your phone. So that requires Wi-Fi though. Planes offer Wi-Fi usually for free, depending on sometimes there's carrier deals or things like that, or sometimes you pay for it. So that's situation one, which I don't think is nearly as common.
You also have to sometimes download their app for that airline.
Correct. Yep. And then usually that'll tell you once you connect to their Wi-Fi, it'll take you to a page that says download our app and so on and so forth. And then the second thing that's probably most likely is like, do you pay for Netflix or anything like that? Yeah. So if you go into the Netflix app, or usually any of these apps, Disney Plus, Paramount, any of them, there's usually an option to download the movie or download the video. Or yeah, I can. I'll finish explaining really quick so you know what I'm talking about, and then I'll show. But
so as long as I have the app of the Netflix.
Mm-hmm. But you have to make sure you download it.
Download.
So you open, let's say we open Netflix.
Okay.
And then you go find the movie that you want.
Okay.
And then usually there's an option below it to hit download or to save. And that makes it available offline, which means you don't need Wi-Fi or anything. Oh. Same thing with music. If you have Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, things like that, it's the same way. So you're essentially, when you're listening to a song or watching a movie on Netflix, it's coming over the internet and you're watching it live.
So are you saying if you're on a plane or whatever, and you have to have their Wi-Fi in order to do that?
No. So that's for the streaming TV, live TV. Oh. That's not nearly as common, but it's possible. Most people, I think what you're seeing is they're going and they're downloading their movies before they fly at home.
Before they get on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Before you travel.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find some screenshots. Don't worry about it. It's all good questions.
So how do we get Netflix for free?
Yeah.
No kidding.
They've sworn me to secrecy.
Ah.
So yeah. So this is specifically Netflix, but you go and you download whatever app you're using, and then you go and find the movie you want just like normal. But instead of watching it, when you tap on the movie, you're gonna see like a couple different options. You're probably already seeing them, just not realizing that they're usable for you, right? But you literally just hit download, and then what you do is, and then I'll see if it shows it. But usually on the app down at the bottom, it'll say downloads, and then you'll see your library.
So, yeah, show us what app you're putting them into, because sometimes I can't find where I downloaded something into there.
It's going to be each app. So it's not, so when you download from, like if you go to Netflix and you download the movie that you want to watch from Netflix, your downloads are going to be in Netflix.
So like if it's Paramount Plus, it's going to be in the Paramount Plus app.
Correct.
If
Yep.
it's Netflix, it's in the Netflix app. So you have to have apps for all of these downloads.
Yes. Yes, you do.
We used to have a place you could go to, like an iPhone, like iMovies, and do that.
There was at some point, and that was still mostly through iTunes, which was another store you could buy movies from. But it still wasn't like cross-platform, is what I would call that.
From iTunes as well.
You can, but iTunes is another store. It's like another place to buy movies or rent movies. Just kind of like Amazon is now. Amazon, you can rent movies and buy movies, or Redbox, or
the Amazon app to watch the download.
yeah. There's really no like central place to go, and that's why I think a lot of people get confused, because it's like, you're going here or you're going there, and so really what I'm saying is it's gonna, like, you have to sit down an hour or two before your trip, and then you have to make sure you got everything loaded that you want, and then
Does that take up a lot of space in your phone and stuff?
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
And you can delete that later?
Absolutely. So most of them expire. Does anyone like rent audiobooks or
in the library?
yeah, ebooks? If when you download or you rent audio or ebooks from the library, and then you can read them, and then after a short while they disappear because you have to give them back. It's the same thing. You're essentially renting the movie, but you don't have to pay for it. Right.
From the library. Right.
Yeah. It all kind of works the same way. It's all the same concept. You're taking something over the internet and you're downloading it locally. And
do you have recommendations for free movies? What apps we should have?
No, I really don't, to be honest with you. I don't, because everything has a paywall now. So there's very few free things that are legitimate.
Since you're talking about download, I know there's a lot of things like using a Fire Stick. They have a downloader app, so you get access to more others.
Yes, those are illegitimate.
Don't do that.
No, they're not considered. They are technically possible, but they're hacks or cracks that people have done to get around the barriers that Amazon are. You could be, yeah. It's not usually an app alone. Yeah, it's
an app called Downloader, and they tell you how you can go in and watch all this free TV and get rid of your cable and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Any of those, like, hey, get all this stuff for free type things, depending on what it is, that's one of those, like, if it's too good to be true, it's not quite legitimate type things, I would try to avoid those. I know that's me telling you, yeah, go ahead and pay for a whole bunch of stuff, and I know that, but there's complications and insecurities that I think come with those.
You get security by paying for it.
Right, because you're not going through, because really what they're doing on the back end is they're going through like proxies and VPNs, and they're doing really sketchy things to bypass walls, and it's just not something I would advise.
My sister has on YouTube.
Sure.
YouTube, it's somebody that has put them on there.
So
But you need to be careful because some of them they do charge for.
yes, so YouTube is another one of those like kind of like Amazon or Redbox or whatever where you can actually pay for movies and watch them and rent them. There's also people that just illegally upload full movies to their YouTube and you can watch them. That's so again, going to YouTube is not necessarily bad, but that and you're not going to get in trouble for that, but that person can get in trouble for copyright infringement on uploading that stuff. Yeah. So as a blanket statement, there's really no like cheat for that. Not that I would feel comfortable advising anyone to do because they're very backwards usually. So great question. Both of those are great questions. Any other? Yes.
This is a question on my PC under Word document.
Okay.
I have an old Word document.
Sure.
On the list of documents,
Yes.
how can I reverse that list? What keystrokes does it take?
Ooh. Let's look really quick. I don't. I'll show you. I'll show you. So Word is so like this guy here, it's like how you make it's like the writing, it's like the word processing software from Microsoft. It's standard.
Oh, is it on my computer too?
It's usually on computers, my Windows computers. It's not usually on phones and stuff. Yeah, but this is what he's talking about, this guy. And I bet you're talking about. Sorry, it's going to take a second to load. Yep. So you're talking about this list here?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like when you're looking at your list? I got it.
Complete list. Must be several hundred on my
This
list.
is the newer version of what he's talking about.
You know, I think they're by date order.
Oh, really?
I think they are,
Hang on, let me
unfortunately.
do that. Hang on, I'm going to show something really quick.
You can sort it by alpha and alphabetical names of documents.
I need to pay attention.
No, you're good. Hang on.
Should be in the upper right-hand corner, shouldn't it, Dylan?
Hang on. It depends on where you're looking. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good example is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll be right there. Okay. So, or are you looking at a list of documents like this? Come on, come back.
There it is.
Okay. But are you looking at like a list of documents kind of like this?
That is correct.
Okay. So just for clarity, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So these are Word documents, but they're not in Word yet. You're just like in your File Explorer for your, yeah. So you wanted to sort by what?
I want to reverse the entire list.
By what? Name, date, do you know? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Bottom.
Got it. So by default, Windows sorts your files by name. So if you look at these ones, they're in alphabetical order.
Okay, mine are by date. I believe the last.
And that's fine. This is going to apply to either. So here's your name and your date. There's some other stuff here, but don't worry about that. But these are all, see this little arrow up here that's kind of hard to see? So like, let's say I want to reverse the order of names. If you see how like now that I'm hovering on it, it kind of changes slightly different color. If I click on that, it's going to reverse the order. So these at the top where these it says name, status, date modified, those are all filters. So you just have to click on it to change order.
You want to turn the light out for a minute and see if we can see it better?
Yeah, I know. Sorry. No, you're good. I wish we could turn the whole front ones off. Okay, it's going to be dark. Don't get scared.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so see how now it's like a darker gray than this black?
Yes.
Okay, so that's telling me what I'm on. So like that's the name, then this is the date. See how it changes with me?
Yes.
Okay, so like if I want to sort by name again, I just click on where it says name. I'm literally clicking on that top part, and then it's changing the order by name. You can also do the same thing with date. So I'm clicking on the date, so now it's going from oldest to newest, or sorry, other way around, newest to oldest, and then I can do the other way around, oldest to newest. Does that make sense?
So how did
Okay, I'm gonna give it a try.
how
So,
did you get to that?
since we're in this,
Yeah,
my next question.
you are there. So you just like if you go to your documents, see now you've got, and it works for folders too. See how you see name and date. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, my next question, same category.
Yeah.
How do I delete any one item?
Sure. Are you in Windows 11 or 10? Do you know?
10.
Okay. So it's going to look. So give me 1 second, and I'll show you. But so if you want to delete one item, so see how it kind of changes color when I hover over.
Yes.
So that's the item that I'm on. Once I'm on the item, like once I'm hovering over the item that I want to delete, because and I know because it's changed colors, I'm gonna right click.
Right click.
Yep. And then it's gonna look like this for you because you're on Windows 10. So I'm gonna right click and see at the bottom where it says delete.
Yes.
You're just gonna click delete.
Okay.
That's how you delete one at a time.
Is there a way to do multiples?
There is. You can delete multiple, and this is pretty accurate for Macs as well. So I'm on Windows, but if you're running Mac, like Linda, I know you have one. It all runs the same way. It may look slightly different, but the process is the same. So,
Say I want to pick 15 out of my bunch of 100.
yeah, okay. So I'm going to explain it to you, but it involves specific buttons you're pressing on the keyboard. So I can show you maybe later if you have this question, and I can show you. But let's say that I want to delete this bottom one, this middle one, and the top one. I'm going to click my first one, and you see how it has a checkbox?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to press and hold the control key. And again, I can show you this in person. Then I'm going to click the other one that I want to delete. And then I'm still pressing the control key. And then I'm going to click the other one that I want to delete.
So are you clicking the control and
Yep. In the mouse,
as soon as you get to the one you want to delete, are you hitting control?
Yep. Control and click. So it's control plus click. Yeah. Yeah. And then no, yeah, it's perfect. And then you just right click again and you delete. There's another thing you can do, and I don't want to confuse anyone, but I'm going to add this in here. Let's say that I want to delete all of these. So I'm going to click my top one. I'm going to press and hold the shift key, and I'm going to click the bottom one. And it's going to click all the way through from 1 to 1.
So can you do the same thing with that if your emails you want to click?
Sometimes, so it depends on, I think you're in Yahoo, and I can't remember if Yahoo does that or not. It depends on which one, but yes. Okay, I'm going to turn the lights back on, guys. Watch your eyes. Whew. Man, I wish we could turn just like these top ones off. Actually, you know what? Anyway, does that explain it?
I think I got it. I'm going to go home and practice.
It's going to take practice. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Now, should they empty the trash bin?
Sure.
Good question.
Yeah, so it is a good question. So your recycling bin here, do you know who, I think it's on Androids as well, but I personally use an iPhone. Do you know when you delete stuff, and maybe I'm teaching you something here, but you know when you delete photos on your iPhone, it goes to a recently deleted file before it's gone? Your recycle bin is just the same way. So me, personally, sometimes I get ahead of myself and I delete a whole bunch of stuff. And then I go through and I'm like, oh, I didn't want to delete that. So I go to the recycle bin and I restore it. It's like your last stop before it's like gone forever. I believe a lot of the times it's set up to to dump after a certain amount of time, and I'll have to look that up because I never pay attention to it, to be honest with you, and I think they've changed it a little bit. But long story short, there's a size max on things you can delete because it doesn't want to keep those too big, but the small stuff, it eventually deletes itself over time. So really, I don't advise too much messing with that, just because me personally, I found it very helpful. Like, oh, I have accidentally deleted that, and now I've gone back and restored it.
So, what is it? Say that again?
The recycling bin?
Yeah, I mean, so are we talking phone or computer?
No, so I'm talking about the phone, or the computer, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I use the phone as an example because I think most people are more used to seeing that, but yeah.
Can you set that so it will automatically delete them?
That's what I was saying. I think it goes after 30 days.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I don't remember anymore. I think there's a way you can set different retention periods on that. But it's just a handy little like oops.
So for instance, on your phone though, which you have, I have my mail, Yahoo, and whatever. So in your phone, I got 695 and.
Sure.
Do you recommend you need to get in there and delete all of them?
No, in your deleted folders, no, because again, they cycle themselves out after a certain amount of time. It's usually 30 days. Same thing with your spam. If you ever go into your spam folder and you see that there's a whole bunch in there, usually it's a rolling 30 days. And rolling means it's not every month it cleans it. It means as soon as it turns 30 days old, it's deleted. Yep. So it's rolling, meaning it's not just static time frame. Yeah.
Different kind of question.
Sure.
A few months ago, folks were digging in our front yard, putting in something called Google Fiber.
Sure.
And now I did not sign up.
Okay.
Figure out why I should even have it.
Okay.
But why would a person want Google Fiber? A need question.
Sure. Very.
Because I get these notices every darn day.
Yeah. So let me explain first why they're digging in your yard. So not to get like that, but usually they're digging in the easement between your yard and the city or whatever. But so we've all heard of like telephone lines, right? So telephone lines are a type of physical line. Then back we started getting cable, right? Which is a different type of physical line, right? So telephones work over square copper, and then the coax is like round copper. And my point is internet has been put over phone lines, internet has been put over cable lines, but neither of those were designed to hold internet. They were just used after the fact. Fiber is actually really long pieces of glass that they put light through for internet. That's the technical part of it. But really all I'm saying is when you use fiber, generally the internet can be faster. Generally it can be more stable. Now, again, if your internet is fast enough for you and it's stable enough for you, there's probably not a reason that you have to change. But they do provide faster speeds and better reliability in a textbook sense. And then recently I've been looking at different things with people, and right now Google, if it is truly Google, their rates tend to be better than other rates. So that's probably the biggest reason why people would change, because Google Fiber tends to be cheaper. I was paying like I'm not gonna get too technical, but like Google right now, I'm paying like for 1,000 measure of how fast the speed is on my internet for like $70, and I was paying like for 600 for like 100 with Spectrum over cable internet, and it was not great. I dropped internet a lot. It's a big deal for me, right? But that's really it. Does that make sense? I mean,
They
it.
offer cheaper rates when
Yeah.
you just break into your
True.
yard.
True.
Like I live in Kansas City, and years ago, that's when they first put the Google Fiber in, and we had it free for like 3 years.
Oh, really?
And then now I get the higher rate, but I only pay $30 a month.
Wow.
So there is an advantage sometimes to getting the fiber.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're breaking ground in your yard.
Okay, and you'd have to call them about that to see what kind of deal they would give you. But really, other than like a financial aspect, which you could definitely check into, there's not much difference between Google Fiber and the internet you're getting now, probably from your perspective, right? I mean, if your internet's doing good for you and it's doing everything that you need, then unless it's a lot cheaper, it probably is not worth the hassle for you, to be honest. So, but if you have a specific instance where that comes up or specific questions towards that, I mean, there's no one, there's all unique situations. So,
Yeah, because it used to be with like Spectrum and AT&T, they were on the overhead lines. So when you had storms coming in and you would lose your internet service, where the fiber is underground and you don't necessarily lose your service.
yes, but what you do have to be careful with. So she asked, like fiber, so DSL and DSL internet, which is phone lines, using like landline phone lines for internet, and then cable TV and cable internet use the same thing. She was saying a lot of the times those tended to be over the air, over the poles with the electrical, and there would be certain environmental issues that could impact that. In some older neighborhoods that have fiber, it is still over air fiber. You can technically, like where you've seen them digging, it is for sure under the ground. But like my house is old enough in an old enough subdivision where my fiber is actually in the air. So in that instance, it doesn't really change much for you in that regard.
But don't you think also, depending on your location of where you're at,
Yes,
it
Yeah.
could tend to go either way.
correct. Yes,
Yeah.
it could.
They do not have Google. They're just bringing Google into parts of Parkville now.
Well, we have Google over on our side, and we didn't join Google. We stayed with what we, only because number one, my husband would change because he doesn't like change. He doesn't like change,
Yeah.
and he likes his football, and but we've lost power with Spectrum. But I've also heard the neighbors saying they don't like Google. So I mean, it's just
Yeah, and that's
preference.
it is a preference, and that's why it's hard to be like, why specifically should I, or to give a blanket statement of why anyone should go to one over the other, and it's going to be based on what you want. But long story short, they offer a lot faster speeds over fiber than you can get on anything else. So if you need a lot more speed, sure, but even the 1,000 bits per second that I get with Google is a bit overkill for the two of us in our home. So, but it can be cheaper. So if you get more, but it's cheaper, you may not need the more, but it's less money. So
Question, speaking of that,
Yeah.
They advertise for seniors, Cricket, is it Cricket or what is that phone? No.
consumer cellular.
Yes. Can you give any insight to that? Is it cheaper?
So with any of these, like I would call them third-party cell phone providers. I don't know what the I don't have a technical term in my head for it, but like consumer cellular, Cricket, Mint, all of those. So really what you got to look at is what network they're using. So even though you're not like Mint, so we use Mint at home, and it's a T-Mobile network. And I was comfortable going to Mint and using Mint because it was on a T-Mobile network. So you'd have to do your research. I don't remember all of them in my head, to be honest with you, but like consumer cellular may be on AT&T or Verizon.
And that's a third party.
Right. So there's nothing necessarily wrong with them being third party, but what you need to realize is if you don't have good Verizon service where you're at, you're not going to have good consumer cellular if they're using the same network. But like us, when we were looking at Mint, I have really good T-Mobile reception, and so I was like, okay, it's going to be the same, and that has been true. So
And it's very affordable.
it is very affordable. Yeah, it's like ours is like $30 a month.
Mint,
Mm,
MINT.
Yep, like the Leaf.
You have to prepay for the year.
Yeah,
On
But yeah.
Mint, you have to prepay.
yeah,
So
But it ends up being
yeah. I don't remember.
$30.
Yeah, and all of them are going to have their own gimmick.
what are you prepaying for?
Their service. So instead of they don't make you don't pay monthly. You pay for
The year.
or 6 months or whatever. Yeah.
You do the same thing when you pay for Spectrum, you pay prepaid. It's not after the month, it's prepaid.
That is technically true, I think. I remember when I dropped Spectrum.
Like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Spectrum's always
There's usually options on either one. There's some where they only let you prepay some. But anyway, I don't know too much about the specifics on how they pay and whatnot, to be honest with you. The biggest question or answer I could give you on if you're considering one of those other ones is to make sure you know what network they're on so that you get your service still. So in other words, if one's really cheap compared to what you're using, but you don't get good service on it, you may not want to switch that. Yeah.
Or if you travel,
Or if you travel.
depending on what state you travel to on a regular basis.
That can,
Yes.
Or internationally or whatever.
Yep.
That also makes it affect.
Yeah.
You may not have insurance.
Yeah, but that's a good question because they're always asking these things. And I'll go ahead and because I've gotten one internet issue, and I've gotten or question, sorry, not an issue, and then one on mobile service. So I think it just fits all in. And does anyone understand? And they're pushing it really hard now. Is like the 5G internet, like home internet. Does anyone understand that? Has anyone been questioned about that? So I've seen this. I've been seeing this a lot where people are getting like, oh, 5G internet. And what that is it's just, they give you a box in your home that connects to a cell network, but it has Wi-Fi. So instead of using like a line through your yard or above your on the pole like traditional internet is, they're just going to set a really fancy cell phone that gives you Wi-Fi in your house. And I'll show you what they look like, but that's what it is.
is that good, bad?
It can be really good because there's a lot less wires involved. It's also less prone to physical issues like line breaks or power outages. The problem is that you're completely dependent on your geolocation, meaning that if you go to AT&T or T-Mobile or whoever and they say, "Oh, I want 5G internet," but you don't have good cell service, you're not going to have good internet. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's essentially internet without any of the wires. But my point is you have to be careful because if you don't get good cell service, you're not going to get a good internet. But for like where I'm at, if I wanted that, I get pretty decent cell service, so it may be an option. And it tends to be cheaper as well. That's the kind of the caveat on that.
So, like, right now, I only have like 3 bars. Is that what you're talking about?
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
If you're at home and you have
1 bar? Yeah.
1 bar, it would not do you any good.
Correct.
If you have a stronger bars, I don't know how many bars there are, 4 or 5? 5? Oh, I didn't know. 5 bars, then that's good cell service, right?
Right.
But if you have that and you travel places,
Well, then you just can't use your internet, but
yeah, you just have to.
right, you're using your cell phone.
You
Yep.
just have to figure out, get in a place where.
Has anyone used a hotspot on their phone before? So it's the same thing as a hotspot. It's just it's a permanent hotspot is what it is.
Is that an app? Hotspot?
So no, so
I'm sorry,
no. So
if you've never used it, you
right, so hotspot, right, when you're talking about your phone, and it's usually up to your provider whether they allow you to use hotspot or not. But what it does is essentially lets your phone pass its connectivity to your computer through Wi-Fi. So in other words, your phone, when you turn hotspot on, your phone emits a Wi-Fi signal that you can connect your computer to.
I've used it when I've traveled. If you're someplace where you're connected to an insecure Wi-Fi,
Correct.
and you want to make hotel reservations using your credit card, that's not really a good thing to do. But you can use the hotspot that is secure.
Yeah, because it's your own. I mean, there are still other security things to consider when you're doing that. But yes, if you're at like a coffee shop and it's insecure Wi-Fi and you need to do something important, some important transaction, using your hotspot where only you're connected to your phone and your laptop is better.
Okay, I understand that piece, but how do you get to a hotspot on your phone?
I'll show you.
Like when I travel, I don't use the internet at a hotel because they have access to your systems when you access their Wi-Fi. That's why when I use my hotspot, it's my security.
Right. There are 2 caveats to this, though. Number one, whether your service provider allows you to use hotspots, and when you're using a hotspot, your phone or your cellular data that you're paying for is what is being used. So in other words, if you're capped at 5 gigs, then your laptop's going to use your phone's 5 gigs if that's what your cap is. Most things now are unlimited and they just slow down after a certain time, so it's okay. But if you happen to be on one of those rare plans where they say, okay, as soon as you hit 5, we're going to start charging you per gigabit after, then you could be in trouble, right? That's not very common anymore. I don't want to be the person to say, oh, use your hotspot, and they're like, I ended up coming home to a $300 bill.
Oh, so how do you know if
You're gonna have to call your bill.
Would that be my T-Mobile?
Yes, or sometimes statements aren't always really clear, but sometimes you can tell on that if you read between the lines.
So if I went to T-Mobile and said, hey, I wanna have a hotspot,
It's probably already there. It's already probably on your phone.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I say that.
Yeah, so usually the hotspot is always on your phone. So on iPhones and Androids, if you go to settings and you scroll through your settings, you should see a personal hotspot option.
I should see. Oh, personal hotspot, it's off.
Yep, and that's okay. But that's really how you turn it on. If you turn it on, so most phones have it enabled, but it's up to your carrier whether they allow that or not.
So if I want it at any point, I would just go turn it on, correct?
Right. But
I could be charged.
But it uses your data usage. You need to find out on your monthly bill or call T-Mobile and ask them how much you get. If you're unlimited, you don't really have to worry. But what he was saying was,
it's like a
you
meter.
only get 256 gig of the really fast, and then it automatically slows down. You may not even notice the slowdown.
Yeah, it's true. And that is more common nowadays, but I just want to make people aware that it could do like a metered service, which once you hit your 5, it's going to charge you per whatever unit after. So the other thing is make sure you have a good password on it, because like if you have a weak password on your Wi-Fi, then maybe others can join, right? Don't do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can we change the name to a personal hotspot?
Not on iPhones. It's going to be the name of your phone.
Because a lot of times when I'm sitting at the airport,
It's like,
things come up.
and it's like everyone has the name iPhone, and then it says, yeah, I know.
And then I'm like, which one?
Yeah.
How do you know you're using a hotspot? Like you're saying you're at a.
Can you tell us how to change our name on our phone?
I'll do that in a second. But yeah, so how you can tell if you're using the hotspot is whether it's turned on or not. So
if it's turned on, then you use it.
right, and then most of the time, like on iPhones and Androids, it's going to be the name of the phone. So like, I'll show you really quick.
So it says allow others to join.
Yeah,
Do I want that?
you can for sure. So you pretty much, well, and yeah, and generally you have to
Turn it on.
turn it on, but you just have to make sure you have a decent password there.
Do I make my password?
Yes.
On that one?
Yeah, you can tap in that little box. See that little arrow?
And put my password.
Yep.
And just remember my password.
Yep. So I'm gonna show you.
Can you put that in one password?
Yeah, it probably won't automatically sign you in, but yeah, you can.
Because now it does sign me automatically into it when I use it.
So see now how the Wi-Fi's that are open, it says my phone.
Yes.
So that's how I know that my hotspot is open in my Wi-Fi. So when your phone is in hotspot mode, it's gonna be like a Wi-Fi connection. So here, I'll show you. So so yours is on, and then you're gonna see your internet down here, and then your Wi-Fi. It's gonna be, I bet you that's yours probably,
Okay.
but I can't tell until I know the name of your phone.
Okay.
But okay, this is just so you can see it, but to change the name of your phone, which is what the Wi-Fi is going to pop up as, you go to Settings, General, About, and then tap on Name. You're fine.
Say that again.
You go to Settings, then you scroll down to General, And then in general, you tap on about, and then it's going to say your name. Most people don't need to do this. The name of your iPhone is not that big of a deal. The only other thing like the name of your iPhone matters is like if you're sharing your location with people or you're in a family group or something, that's going to be the name that pops up. But that's a whole nother thing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm probably going to transition into one-on-ones.
Can we change the model then?
No, because that's the model of your phone. That's set there by the factory.
We can't change anything but name.
Correct. Yep. Because everything else is accurate to the description of your phone. Great. I think those were a few good questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This might be a little bit out of some of these questions. VPN, I know you talked about that a little bit. Can you maybe next time go into more with the VPN? And like, would you recommend it?
Yeah.
And like why we might need it and some of that stuff?
Yeah, actually,
You get pretty involved.
yeah, it can, and maybe it needs to be its own class. But I might. So the next class I'm teaching, like the next formal class I'm teaching, is cybersecurity for seniors, is what Kelly has posted for me. So I may put a quick blurb in there about it. It can be its own hour and a half all on that whole subject, but I think it is a good tool to have, especially when you're traveling and things like that. So do's and don'ts, because there's a lot of don'ts too.
Is there any particular one you recommend? Because you usually have a paid one.
You-
There's not a free one that I know.
Yeah, there is. If you're, to be honest with you, it's another one of those things. If you're getting,
If they're free, you don't want it.
probably not, because they do. So they do cost a lot of money for companies to run. Like they're very resource intensive, which is why they make you pay for them. And so you have to wonder if the ones that are free, where are they getting their revenue stream to fund those connections? And then so don't dig too deep into that because you might be very disappointed. And yeah, yeah, it is. Okay, I'm gonna, unless there's any like, I'm gonna transition to one-on-ones. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So feel free to stick around. I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start this way, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah. And I am not in a rush to get out of here. So if we go a little bit over the 11:30, I will stick around. Okay, I will start with you. We have stuff, but I will come by. I'll probably do you last if you don't mind, so we can sit down with it because I know this is different. So I'm not ignoring you, is what I mean. Yeah, geez.
I know, right? Yeah, I feel like I'm asking too many questions.
No.
My husband always says, why don't you sit there?
Well, he's fine. Maybe he should ask more questions.
No kidding, you know him.
Yeah. Okay.